What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DCU Penn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. Of course, we are going to be recapping Week 13 in the NFL. That includes some Thanksgiving games, talk a little bit about the Black Friday game, and then, of course, the great slate of football that we had today on Sunday and the first day of December. Of course, before we get started, I'll remind you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on audio platforms, leave a like, 5-star review, comment if you can, and download the episode if you really enjoyed it. But of course, we can never get started without going to Danny for summits and plummets.
Yeah, I think my biggest summit is two things, both related to football, actually. So number one, won every fantasy league this week except for the Summit League, which is my season's already down the drain because the team decided to not show up for the first 6 weeks. It's okay though. It's okay. So won every league except for that one. And the next beautiful summit is hit a fantastic parlay today. Always have to tail. Steelers minus 1.5. Jamar Chase 65 yards live bet, and then Eagles money line, Saquon Barkley 95 yards. Bound to happen. It hit. And then mid game, +7, Eagles +7.5, Saquon 80 yards, +300, +200 maybe, something like that.
Eagles were +7.5. It's at one point.
They were +9. I took them at alt +7.5.
They were a +9. What?
When they were down 9-0. When they were down 9-0, they were +9.
That's just a horrible job by the books.
It's a horrible job. I saw that. And I was like, do they really think the Ravens just better blow out the Eagles? Like, there's no way.
Like, have you watched a second of like Eagles like football this year, especially in the first quarter? But we'll talk more about that later, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
And Chris, swing it on over to you.
I had to find my unmute button. I don't know. I have a lot of good stuff. Well, I think the first summit I probably say is just I get to spend Thanksgiving with my family. My grandma came out here from Chicago, which was cool to see my granny. And then I seen a lot of other family and friends too, so that was cool. I ate really ridiculously. Ridiculously well though. Like I'm not disappointed at it, but I ate a lot. So I'm proud of myself for not being washed. Last year I ate one plate and I was done for the day. So I think I'm finally rounding back into form. Well, I can do 2 to 3. So that's my first summit. And then Plummet. LeBron and Steph are washed, unfortunately. 4 bad games in a row at the age of 39 means that you fell off a cliff. So yeah, that's just the unfortunate truth. There it is. And that means since they're falling off the cliff, that means I'm on my way next.
Fair. It's hilarious because someone was like falling off into prime Jason Kidd is hilarious.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it's crazy. Steph shot 4 for 12, 4 for 11, and then 4 for 10. Those are all almost 40%. Anybody else from 3, that's really, really good. But for Steph, that's falling off.
Chris, you're closer to Steph than you are to us.
No. Even worse. I'm closer to I was about to drag it, but I'm not. I was about to say I'm closer to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar than y'all are to
Kareem is crazy.
I gotta chill.
You're closer to MJ than we are to I don't know.
Baby Gronk. I don't know.
Marcus Jordan Jr.
Marcus Jordan Jr. That is crazy. Summit. I'll probably say, we got to play some football at Thanksgiving morning. Danny beat all the washed allegations. It was truly peak football in the rain and all. I guess the real benefit, or not even want to say the benefit, but the good thing come out of it, I wasn't sick. I mean, we played in the pouring rain for about a good 30 minutes of it, and then the rest was like light rain, and then it ended up just completely going away. But wasn't sick. That was great. And then my body wasn't sore really at all. Next morning, 20 minutes on a treadmill, we hit the sauna, man. Muscles feel great. We're all good. I beat the washed allegations, that's for sure. And then Plummet, never take me to a bar again. Like ever. I should have just stayed home yesterday with my guys, but my dumbass was like, you know what? let's not be boring. Let's go out. But
Yo,
uh,
your summit has to be something else too.
no,
You texted
what?
it in the chat earlier.
I have no clue what you're talking
You're
about.
officially TU alumni.
Uh, Technically, yes. The final grades aren't in, but my final project was graded. So, bachelor will be on the way. I can't wait to make no money for the rest of my life. This is gonna be great.
You're the next Stephen A. Smith on the way.
Oh, sure, we can go with that. I'd love to have a very cryptic relationship with the city's star basketball player.
And women.
Sure, we can go with that. I don't know if I want that though. Uh, but on every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat. I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands, and of course, they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback, it could be fitted, it could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I had. We can move on into the recap, starting with the Turkey Day games.
Start off with the
Of
first
course,
one, which
yeah,
led to their coach getting fired.
yeah, and it's, I mean, too little, too late for that firing. Of course, you'll get interim boost. You will win next week, but it's okay, Caleb, that's bad situational, awareness. Now, mind you, Caleb's in the game though. Coach, you're watching from the sideline. Mind you, you're not watching from the stands, you're watching from the sideline. So you have some importance in this matter. You have to call a timeout there. And Caleb, honestly, it starts with you can't take that sack. That's the second time in 2 weeks where he's taken an egregious sack to essentially lose them a game. But
My banger. I was looking at next week's slate. Thursday Night Football might have the first banger in a long time. I was trying to see
what
who
do
the
you mean?
Bears play. They got Packers Lions on Thursday night.
That could be a banger. But as for this game, I mean, the Lions keep doing their thing. I mean, second half it wasn't necessarily strong. I would say they kind of like just let Caleb Williams flip the second half switch that he's been doing as of late and got his team back in the game. Keenan Allen had a really good game. DJ Moore started to turn it up a little bit. It's just this line needs a lot of help. But by the time this line might get together, it's like, DJ Moore will still be fine and Roma Dunze is coming to in his own, but Keenan might be a little too washed by that point. But we'll see. Anyway, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I don't think the Bears defense is the issue. I definitely agree that's the line. Allowing 23 points to one of the league's best offenses.
Probably the hottest team in the NFL, like the hottest team in the NFL.
Look, the Lions' last five showings, 24, 52, 26, 24, 52. And you allowed them to 23. You weren't one of the 52. You didn't allow 30. You allowed the least amount of Lions points in the last 5 games.
Yeah. The game was won.
Better.
The game was bare minimum tied. Mistakes happen.
I'm hearing I just want, before we get too much about this, who do you think is Lions? I mean the Bears' next head coach. I'm hearing Marcus Freeman is could be leading.
I could see that. I
would love Belichick.
I want Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh could be a good one. They just have to hopefully if they can keep this play caller, then as offensive coordinator, now we're really cooking. So that would be a good one. But the defense kind of just seems to be like the defense is cool in my eyes. I mean, I guess Saleh can make it better, and now you're really working with something. I also just think like an offensive minded guy could like really be good for Caleb's development, and because like the
Tom
defensive
Brady head coach.
we're cool. We're real good for right now. He can
Not
stick.
Chris. I like that. You said Cliff Kingsbury in the chat. I do like. He was very creative with Caleb Williams in college.
He
I
was
do like.
not. Caleb's last year at USC was egregious because of Cliff Kingsbury.
I like what he did with Cliff Kingsbury.
What did you like? The
I just-
receiver concepts were absolutely horrible. He
The
didn't
receiver
allow Caleb
good.
to make any easy throws his entire sophomore year. Caleb was essentially out there fighting for his life with Brendan Rice.
I mean, he does the same thing with Jaden Daniels. Did the same thing with. I think he just trusts his quarterback to go make plays.
That's not a good job. That's horrible as a coach. Your job is to make it easier for your quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, can't say I like what Cliff Kingsbury's done with any quarterback. But I think if we're looking toward offensive-minded guys, of course, you want to tap into a little bit of the Shanahan tree. Bobby Slowick would have been like the hottest name possible, but now it's kind of like, no, we're fading off of that. Kubiak, Clint Kubiak could be one. I still like what he's done with the healthy Saints offense. It's kind of not his fault that Chris Olave suffered like his 87th concussion, and there's no real field stretcher outside of Shaheed. So
I just we can move on to the second game in the.
well, we didn't get Chris's thoughts on the game because I know we have some Chicago natives in the building.
Oh yeah,
so.
we do have some
Yeah.
Chicago.
What was that game like in the household?
Where are the Chicago heads at on Eberflus?
Well, I mean, they haven't had anything good to cheer about in a minute, so I think they're just happy to be there. And funny enough, it was a lot of Chicago people in here, but it was mostly women, and they could care less. So it was just cool. I remember one of them was just like, "Oh, I mean, this is the new quarterback." So I mean, that was about as much as the football knowledge went. But I know I did talk to some of my friends. I think they're just frustrated in the sense of it's like damn near running the same thing again. Like you get Caleb, now you got to start over with a new coach. Got to get a new this, got to do this, and it's like. I think they're more so upset with the continuity. And I think the firing came a little late, but it had to happen. I think we all knew that. But I'm just hoping that his situation goes better than Justin's did. In a sense of he's able to find some continuity with team, coach, coordinator, play caller, everything. Just find continuity because I think he's an elite talent, and I don't want to see it tampered or wasted just by, the front office not being sturdy enough in decisions. I don't think their front office is bad by any means. I just think that they just have to be sturdy in their decisions and do them a little faster. But that's kind of what I've seen. I think the Bears are still solid. I think it's just you going through growing pains with a rookie quarterback. Now you're gonna have to probably go through some of the same next year. Unless you get that rookie coach juice.
Yeah, I think he quickly turned with bad coaching and bad development around him. He could quickly turn into what Trevor Lawrence is going through in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's possible. I think if they can,
we all see Trevor Lawrence's talent, dude.
Yeah, no. I think Trevor Lawrence, all eyes that know football, great quarterback. But where I think Caleb at least has, the benefit of development over Trevor Lawrence is one, I preferred Caleb as a prospect, even though Trevor Lawrence is like, go make me a quarterback in a lab, and Trevor Lawrence is coming out hair is AI generated, but having Urban Meyer as his head coach that year, it's almost it was like that's not even real. Like I don't even know how to explain it. This is the worst possible situation for a number one overall quarterback I've ever seen. Caleb, bare minimum, good weapons, good offensive play caller for what's going to be the second half of the year because Shane Waldron was horrible. It ain't all bad, mind you. Caleb could have won him some of these games. He could, it's been a rocky season per se. But I think he's gonna be just fine. He's probably gonna end this season hopefully on the hottest of hot streaks. We're heading into year 2, and we're talking about the things that we were talking about before the season. My thing with the Bears is now I'm like, okay, now they're losing close ones, and they're definitely gonna get a better head coach, and they're probably gonna invest in O-line. So now I can expect for sure playoffs and such. But now I'm like, maybe it's going to be the first year under a real head coach. Now, maybe I should, lower the expectation. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about them heading into next season, but Caleb's got some games to play. Danny, you said you wanted to move to the second game But I really didn't have much to say about.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly touch on it. I think the Cowboys are an interesting spot. They're 5-7. They have the Bengals, the Panthers, the I forget. I think they have the Eagles one more time, and I forget the last team. Sorry.
Well, they got to play. I'm
And the
pretty
Bucks.
sure they.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Bucks are the week of Christmas. That's the Cowboys' remaining games. When you're telling, if we're being honest, they play the Eagles week 18. The Eagles might be sitting their starters.
Well, if the Lions don't plan on losing anytime soon, then that week Saquon's probably going for Eric Dickerson's record.
I agree. But I do wanted to note the Cowboys got the Bengals, the Panthers, and the Bucks. That's winnable games with Cooper Rush or anyone at quarterback. At that sake,
We will
the
see.
Bengals are the first to note. This team, although you might be like, oh, it's the Cowboys without Dak Prescott, they're gonna fight. They're the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna try to win games. Chris knows in Dallas, it's everything's about the Cowboys. So they're going to play hard football, and I'm not saying they're backdoor in the playoff spot. Like they'd have to win out to go 10-7, but 9-8 has a chance to make the playoffs in the NFC. Is the reality of this?
Yeah, it's possible. Jerry Jones is the type of guy who wants to win. He'll never tank for the draft stock. I know that. Yeah, so I agree. They are in an interesting spot. Later we'll talk about that Saquon rushing record thing. Two things I wanted to point out. McCaffrey's heading into the blue tent. He's the last person that my opponent has in fantasy, and I have Nick Chubb. So
you have Nick Chubes?
Yes, I do. But going on to the last game of Thanksgiving, though, which truthfully, this is like the headline, like the Green Bay Packers. When we were talking, you know, rankings. Of course, last week we did AFC, and then this upcoming week, spoiler, I was debating where I wanted to put the Packers. Cause I know I talked them up like a tier A team, but I'm like, Jordan Love does some really stupid things sometimes, and that defense, while improved, isn't like great. The defense just went out there, shut down one of the most high-octane offenses when healthy. Yes, Jonnu Smith and Devon Achane, is this the dagger touchdowns don't count. For my fantasy team, it does. For real life, it doesn't. On top of that, I don't know how chronically on Twitter you guys are. I'm hoping Chris has heard this term before. The term "all lives matter" ball, where it's like nobody dominates. It's just a matter of letting everyone eat. And as like Jaden Reed isn't way better than everybody else. Christian Watson isn't way better than the rest of the receiving room. Same with Doubs. And then Josh Jacobs is like the best player in the offense outside of Love. But it's just like this combination of feeding Jacobs, and then we're just distributing the ball across all these tier 2, tier 3 kind of guys. It's so perfect to me. It's so not last year, 2 years ago, Chiefs, when you had Smith Schuster get 900 yards. Sky Moore was a decent rookie. Kadarius Toney was a solid midseason pickup that year.
Man,
of course, you had Kelsey. Kelsey was the mainstay of the offense. That's what this reminds me of. You have this Houdini at quarterback who can make all the throws, fade away, Michael Jordan Love, Toyota-thon Love, whatever you want to call them. And it's just a bunch of guys. And, of course, you have your one mainstay, which is Josh Jacobs. Now, shout out Tucker Kraft, though. Good guy. I'm truly bought in. I think the Packers can win the Super Bowl. I really do. So this upcoming game against Detroit is going to be a big one. I really believe so.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have some revenge to do from 2011.
You have to make it there first.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about you guys more later. I promise. I promise we will, because I'm not letting that Russell Wilson game go. That was phenomenal. But we'll get back to that. I want to go to Chris, though. You had locked the Finns. Danny, you picked the Finns in an upset. You were both brutally wrong for doubting my king, Jordan Love. But even more so, besides the point, Chris, what did you think of the Thanksgiving finale?
Well, for one, I was wrong. I was not familiar with Jordan Love's game, obviously. Still not moved, though. I'm not gonna lie. The Dolphins, I was just hoping they would win, and I picked them just just thinking that they would pull it off. But I still don't believe in the Dolphins either. I think it was a good win for the Packers, but it didn't really move me in my. Do I think they? Because I don't think they're on the same level as Lions or Philly in that sense. I think they're a tier under that, and I don't think this game really moved my opinion. It was a good win though. Because you can easily fumble those games. Trust me, I've watched teams do it. We watch teams do it every week, so they end up taking care of business. But in my opinion, I think they're still, still a pretty good team. But I don't think this really moved me in either direction, really.
Danny, what'd you think about the Packers or the Dolphins in this instance?
Yeah, it's what I'm saying is Tyreek Hill is in his Lightning McQueen is fading era of his career.
That's tough.
And it's unfortunate, but I don't think he has the same juice that he used to have.
It's very possible.
Like as a speed receiver, you like I understand Tyreek Hill is a great all time receiver, right? As a speedy receiver, though, your main asset is stretch the field, and he isn't doing that right now. Like
yeah,
he still has his route running. He'll still be a solid receiver until he retires. But I think he's in the last 2-3 years of his career right now, at the age of 30, 31. I just don't see much longer Tyreek Hill. I think that as soon as he loses his speed, he's gone.
I could see that because that's kind of his mainstay. That is his superpower, and I wonder. I don't know. I don't think there's an underlying injury that they're not reporting on. I don't want to do that. And then another thing. At least,
speaking of that injury, Chris McCaffrey went back to the locker room.
Yes, he did.
It looks like the calf or knee injury. It looks like he probably tore his Achilles.
That would be.
Yeah, there's a video posted. He's stepping in the snow, and his entire leg looked like it just rippled.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna be okay. Just real quick sidetrack. You think that'd be it for him
this year?
No shit. Well, wow, James Cook, 1,000,000-yard touchdown. But I'm saying like for CMC's career, we're talking what?
Oh, no, he's not done.
We're at ACL, Achilles. Okay. Better question. He's probably done as an elite back though. No.
Maybe that's hard to say, dude. Like
I think he'd be done.
He
already hasn't looked great since coming back.
He just had arguably an MVP season
last year. The one healthy season he's had ever. That and the year where he got 1K. So while healthy, he's an absolute demon. But
he got turned into Bo Jackson.
I don't know about that.
What if this guy was healthy for his entire career?
Meet hypothetical back. That's what Saquon used to be. Now it's CMC. But I mean, look, wrong side of 30. Already got the injury history. But anyway, we can move on. Did y'all want to talk about the Black Friday game? I mean,
I think we can talk briefly.
The Chiefs were my lock. And
that's a crazy lock at this point.
I mean, yeah, but like, is it though? Because I can bank on them to win a football game.
The Chiefs are the University of Georgia of the NFL right now.
Hey, that's fine. Get them into the playoffs. They're gonna rout anybody.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. They have all the talent. They have all the coaching. They have. The problem is something just feels different this year. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with the Chiefs. Their defense feels like it's missing something. Maybe L'Jarius Sneed. Maybe it's a linebacker. Maybe it's health. Offensively, they just without Rashee Rice, they don't have a separator like that anymore. Kelsey's going to be Kelsey, but they just don't have an elite separator. They do have is Hollywood.
I was going to say, sorry. Go ahead.
Hollywood Brown looking like he's coming back in week 17, which is going to be a great ad for them.
Yeah, I would say, one, I wish we could just got a little bit more out of Hopkins. I know, like, he hasn't been special in a couple years, but I just figured, like, vet to vet, Mahomes to Hopkins. I feel like he should abuse this a little more. Maybe get Hopkins in the slot a little bit, get him some mismatches, or
Yeah.
get him into like a Keenan Allen type of thing. I think he's very capable of that. And second, no, Travis Kelce truly got McQueen is fading on Friday by Brock Bowers.
Yeah, he did.
Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the NFL. That's not a hot take, right?
Not hot take at all.
I think between him,
call it a knee injury.
McBride, like it's between him or McBride, and I think I'd personally go with the touchdown scorer, which is a bad way to go about things. But
I'm definitely going with Brock Bowers. I think
I would say McBride, another solid game today in a loss, unfortunately, but McBride's really cool too.
10-2 Vikings.
10-2 Vikings. Is that the first game we want to talk about on the Sunday slate?
We can talk about the 10-2 Vikings. I do want to mention just before we get back into it, McCaffrey. They're saying it's a knee injury. So maybe meniscus. Maybe I think it's good if it's just.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. If he busted his knee and his Achilles at once, oh my god, that's the worst.
Yo, Darren Sproles 2.0.
Yeah, dude, he tore his ACL, broke his forearm. I'm like, damn, like
how do you do that? Chris,
on the same play?
He got flipped and his knees came out and he landed on his forearm and he broke his forearm and tore his ACL.
Dude, I don't even.
That'd be my last snap. I'm never playing again. That's it.
That's crazy how my boy still came back though.
Yeah, Darren Sproles one of them ones.
He really is, man. He really is for three different teams too. There are 3 different organizations who can be like, Darren Sproles was our guy. So, but this Cardinals Vikings game. I mean, the Cardinals, they had it won. Walked them down, all the way down. And the Vikings defense, what they did good all day while the Cardinals were marching all day, that red zone defense really stepped up.
Yeah.
And it's like every single time the Cardinals are driving. Okay, mind you, I'm going to assume Danny watched Steelers-Bengals a lot more heavily than I did. I was watching Cardinals-Vikings.
I only watched
the Cardinals were driving all day, and every single time they're driving, I'm like, wow, like they really have their number until they don't. Until when it matters, they don't, and they had to settle for field goals. Mind you, while the Vikings are chopping away, mind you, Aaron Jones 2 fumbles. They go to the backup for a little bit. They go back to Aaron Jones, who ends up scoring a touchdown. Jefferson had a good day. Sam Darnold had a great day. He was really good in the pocket, avoiding sacks, extending plays. I really like what I saw from him. It looked very 2019 Wentz style, where it's like, okay, we're not like crazy, but like, we're extending plays. We're making stuff happen. I was very pleased. Of course, I was pleased with the Cardinals offense outside of, just not punching things in the end zone. Marvin Harrison had one of his better games. Of course, McBride had a really good game. It's just with them, field goals got to be touchdowns. I was impressed with the run game as well. Thought Connor did a great job today after the extension. So hopefully, he can continue to age pretty gracefully. But, yeah. It's just Chris. I don't know what was the local game for you.
It was who was it? I forget. I ended up turning on Red Zone. So I didn't like the local game. I forgot which one it was, but
okay. You have any thoughts about Minnesota, Arizona?
Yeah, I thought that was probably one of my favorite games of the day. It's because, I said it back. My favorite game of the day was the Jets game because there was so many bloopers and just random stuff happening back to back. That was probably my favorite game. But this was my second favorite game. It was cool to see. I think all the playmakers showed up and showed out at different points or consistently throughout the game. Jettis is Jettis, and he's going to make a play every single time you need it. That he's special. Mark Harrison Jr. showed some special plays today. I think it was just a really good game all the way around. Like you said, I think the Cardinals were marching at the end, but just Vikings defense always comes up timely. I feel like every time they need a player, they need to do something, it feels like they just do it. So yeah, I think it was just a really good overall game of 2 good teams. I think the Vikings are just a step ahead of the Cardinals, and I think that kind of shows. You win games different ways, but usually the best team finds a way to win somehow, some way, whether it's on defense, special teams, whatever the case may be. And I think the Vikings just are better, so they found the way to get the stop at the end that they needed.
Yeah. I think they had a critical error. When you're up 3 and it's 4th and medium, you want to go. You don't want to take the field goal. Going up 6 is never a good thing. I saw a tweet as they kick the field goal to go up 6, they say, "This seems like a curse almost. You don't want to go up 6. You want to get a first down and make sure they can't win the game. We go up 6, they know they need a touchdown. If you're still up 3, they're going to play conservatively and try to get a field goal to go to overtime. Most teams will. So
same thing with that Bengals Ravens games a couple weeks back. We were talking to the guys at the summit.
So it's I think it's coaching malpractice. I think it's not even malpractice. I think that it needs to be talked about more of how you approach that situation. You want to be more aggressive.
I think that sometimes they see analytics. You can see analytics and still have like gut feeling within it as well. Like where the analytics will probably tell you, try to get this first down. And then your dude bro and you will probably be like, yeah, dude, that sounds awesome right now. So if the analytics are saying that and your gut is telling you that, I don't even know how the thought of going up 6 goes on your mind. And just like Cardinals, more total yards, more dominated the yards, 406 to 273, dominated time of possession by over 11 minutes, more first downs, better third down percentage, more rushing yards, more passing yards, better, of course, yards per attempt in both categories. Here's what killed him. More penalties, which obviously leads to more penalty yards. 1 for 6 in the red zone. Vikings only got to the red zone 4 times. They were at least 2 for 4. They got outgained in the red zone despite having more opportunities. So, again, as we were talking about, they just have to finish drives. They have to finish drives. And a lot of QB hits. So good job by the Vikings drawing up some stunts. Get them in the game. Cardinals, I mean, you're up 13, which is nothing in this league nowadays, but I think you have the guys to salt this type of game away, and it just kind of sucks they didn't, they weren't able to capitalize.
I love him seeing get Marv involved. I think Marv is going to be pivotal in getting this team going. So, they're still in the hunt for the division though. So
they are. Even despite a Seahawks win, which I guess we can go to that next. But yeah, Cardinals still in the fight for it. We can go Seahawks Jets. Chris, you said you said that was your favorite game.
Yes.
So yeah, let's talk about it a little more.
Bro, it was so random. It was just stuff happening all over the place. Kick return touchdown. Fumble right here. Interception. A fumble on the interception. It was just crazy stuff happening, bro. And I just had fun watching it. It was like one of the more fun games I've watched just because it was one of those where I just didn't know I couldn't predict what was going to happen next. The Jets looked elite for like 3 drives, and then they looked like the Jets for the rest of the season, like how they looked the rest of the season. It was just a crazy game. And I think Seahawks just made more plays. JSN sightings are always good. He played really well. He made really big catches when they needed, and even when they didn't need it, he was just everywhere. JSN was awesome, and I think that was cool because I know we're fans of JSN here, but I've been seeing on Twitter a lot just to give him the ball more, and he was involved today, and he made some really big plays. So I think it was a really good game. I think the Jets offense looked good again, if I could say it, for like 3 drives, and then it just looked out of sync again, like towards the end, outside of Adams and Rodgers having some chemistry. It seemed like nobody else could really get it going, I think. And like that Garrett Wilson play was a prime example. Like he had 6 yards of separation within like 8 yards. Like it was like whatever in goal, like the 8. And he ended up getting like 6 yards separation, and Aaron Rodgers overthrew him, just put a little too much touch on the ball. Or maybe Wilson didn't run a route as long as he needed to. Whatever the case may be, I think that's just been the Jets season. Like being close, but coming up short, or just being out of sync and missing everything.
Yeah, I'd agree. Danny, did you get to catch any of this game?
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces. I did want to say this team should blow it up. Keep Garrett Wilson. Keep Sauce Gardner. Keep Quinnen Williams. But focus on 3 things. Get assets. Get a quarterback. You're not a quarterback away. It's pretty evident now. Find a head coach. 3-step plan. Say the Jets. Find a head coach. Get rid of Rodgers and Devontae Adams and get assets. And draft young talent. Take best player available. This team is way too far away from actually winning. I love what they have. I love Breece Hall. I love Garrett Wilson. There's plenty of teams that show having a good running back and wide receiver doesn't make you a good NFL team. It's a team. It's a team sport. We're not watching baseball with Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run that could save the Dodgers, which he got carried, by the way, in the World Series. We don't need to say that. We're watching
random stray.
I mean, she's the MVP of the season, but yeah, it's
okay. We knew we knew that already.
Yeah, I had to make that. You knew that. But no, look, the Jets 3-step plan, do that. I think the Jets could simply spin it around.
So like
Rodgers is not the guy there. He should retire. He go be. I would say go be a family man, but
he didn't want to be a family man when he was good. So I don't think he wants to do that. What are the okay? Rodgers leaves. Like, what are the chances they just like rehire Robert Saleh?
0. Saleh's not going back.
That would suck. That sucks because I like Robert Saleh a lot. The defense was in check, and they just couldn't get the offense going. But that has nothing to do with him. So, yeah. But I mean, on the Seattle side of things, this is, I believe, 5 straight games of 60+ receiving yards for JSN, which I really like. His route trees are looking how they should look. A lot of stuff across the middle, deep down the middle, out routes, just letting him get creative. Because that's the type of player he is. You know, he's not the fastest dude in the world, but he's fast enough, along with his quickness, to make something of any opportunity that you can give him. And it's panning out great. I mean, he's perfectly taking over for Tyler Lockett in this offense. Him and DK are, up there in receiving duos. I mean, JSN's top 10 in the league in receiving yards. That's a huge jump from what we got last year, where we had like maybe a game or two where like, okay, we could see the flashes, but Shane Waldron had to be put in prison so that JSN could truly start to break out. But I mean, these teams were about as close knit as it got today. Just a matter of some plays being made, and the Jets just didn't show up in the second half. Truth be told, they didn't show up outside of the first quarter. They had that kick return, and that was it. So,
yeah,
good win for the Seahawks, keeping their division lead and hopes alive. Hopefully, they can continue to build off of this one. Their second half this week, full Cardinals game last week. McDonald starting to get things together with the defense that we thought could have something there.
I just want to note before we go any further, the playoff picture, because the Bills isn't really going to affect the playoff picture of this game.
Well, they're going to win if you wanted to include
them. They're going to win, but that's not.
Okay, I get you.
Chiefs, Bills, Steelers, Texans, Chargers, Ravens, Broncos in the AFC, with the Colts 2 games out, and the Dolphins 2.5 games out. It looks like it's the top 7 teams locked in for now. And in the NFC, you have Lions, Eagles. Can get a little tricky here soon. Seahawks at the 3 seed, Falcons at the 4 seed, which is quite interesting if you ask me. And then you got the 10-2 Vikings at 5, the 9-3 Packers at 6, and then you got the 8-5 Commanders at 7. It's the Bucks have a loss to the tiebreaker against the Falcons, and the Cardinals are 6-6 and are game back from the Seahawks. I believe they play the Seahawks next week, so game to watch.
That'll be a big one. That'll be a big one indeed. And wow, okay. The reason why the Colts ain't dead just yet. Broncos don't have a lock tomorrow. They have to play the Browns. The Browns, I think you guys would know best.
Big spoiler.
They like to play a little bit of spoiler. That's what they like to do when the vibes are high. But the Colts, 6-7. If the Broncos lose, they're really a game out, and now we're really talking. But this game today, first of all, that last field goal, can you even sit here and say that was like a bad decision over like a Hail Mary? It was close. It was close, man. It was close. That was a good job by Drake May, dropping back 2 quick dumps, and then seeing if your kicker could go make history.
I think Drake May legitimately has a case for Rookie of the Year.
I would agree.
What he has done with the Patriots offense, being how bad their offensive line is, how bad their receiving room is, how they're going out there and having fun, quote unquote. He has them in competitive games against damn near every team they play. So shout out to Drake May. I think he's going to be peak spoiler coming down the stretch, and he might keep them out of a top 5 pick, which might not be good for the Patriots, but.
Yeah, and I mean, like every single game by Drake May basically looks the same. It's 200 yards, touchdown pick, or 2 touchdowns and a pick, or 1 touchdown and a pick. And of course, that's going to come with the growing pains. But this looks like very like late season Flacco-esque, except Drake May has a creative bone in his body, unlike Mr. Flacco.
And he has a career in front of him. Joe Flacco.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if May. We talked about this with Caleb. No one will ever be bigger than Michael Jordan in Chicago. No one's ever going to be bigger than Tom Brady in Boston or the New England area. But it'll be a good sequel. This will be a very good sequel. Mac Jones, that didn't happen, but this is the real sequel.
Hey, Mac. Speak of Mac, he played well today.
He did. He almost orchestrated a comeback. Got to give him his flowers. He likes Brian Thomas Jr. a lot, as anyone should. As for the Colts, though, I mean, man, Anthony Richardson's funny as hell. But I really like the decision to go for 2 there. I really like that decision by Shane Steichen. You put the ball in your quarterback's hands to throw, made an amazing throw to win the game, and then 2-point conversion. Yeah, let me give it to my 6'5" anomaly at quarterback. Powers it in himself. I really like the play calling there by Steichen. He fed Jonathan Taylor today with 25 carries. That was, a big pivotal thing as to why they won. And then on top of all that, Danny, Mo Alley Cox beat Austin Hooper today. Tight end wins are a tight end stat.
War is over.
But if you want to get super woke, Austin Hooper had 4 catches and a touchdown. He did outplay him, but didn't do enough to win. But yeah, Colts get another win. They're inching closer to.
Yeah, look at the Colts schedule down this stretch. They got Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jags after the bye week.
That Broncos game could be the one.
I know they have 2 division games. The Titans are going to play them tough. No matter
as always. Yep.
The Jags are going to play them tough, and I say the Giants are going to play them tough.
We'll see.
The Giants are going to have this like chippiness to them. The Giants are always chippy, to say the least.
Sure.
They're not. They're never going to bend over and let you just like beat you.
Well, Saquon did that.
I mean, they didn't try to bend over. He bent them over.
Okay. I want to move on to this Chargers-Falcons game. Chris, you think it might be time to see Michael Penix?
No.
Is Kirk O'Chain's cooked? Is he cooked?
Even if he is cooked, it's not Penix time. No. You know what time it is? I'll tell you what time it is. It's trade for Desmond Ridder back time. That's what. No, I'm kidding. It might be time.
You have to be in the deepest pits of quarterback like anarchy,
bro. He's not starting for the Raiders. That's
right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the thing. This is what it's time to do, and it's unfortunate. It's time to take both old yellers behind the shed. Kirk Cousins and Jay Tuck. It's time to take y'all behind the shed and put y'all out y'all misery. But Tuck's still good in my book. Trust him. We'll get to that at a point. But in reality,
cut the punter. Get him off the team.
Yeah, get Stout. Send Stout to Saudi Arabia if you have to. But I'll say this: with Kirk Cousins, I think it may be time, not because he's washed, but because the season's kind of getting to a sense where you're kind of losing it in a way.
500 yards 3 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's his fault, but I'm saying like, if they get to a point where they're 6-9 or 6-8, they kind of just keep fading. All right, maybe it's time to see Penix just to get him some reps, but I don't think it's time to push him out, not push him out, to replace him because he's washed right there. He's had a couple bad games. That's what I think. That's my personal.
No matter how good we think the NFC South is going to be, it's 6-6. It's a 6-6 team.
Yeah.
2 6-6 teams.
Yeah.
The Bucks are 6-6. The Falcons are 6-6. Battling for the division.
In the Bucks' defense, they did get hurt, but at the end of the day, you are correct. That is the reality of things.
I mean, that's
Um,
fair.
Y'all want to hear maybe the most buddy ball? Remember how we were talking about all lives matter offense? No, lad lives matter offense for the Chargers. Herbert had 147 passing yards, 117 of them
To Lad.
to Lad McConkey.
Would you throw it to Quentin Johnston after that stuff he pulled last week? Would you?
Hey, 2 catches, 12 yards.
So you would throw it to him twice. Same. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
He actually threw it to him 4 times.
Oh, that's too many. He'd have got 2 chances. That's
The white boys from Georgia, they got something. The next white boy coming out from Georgia, Cash Jones. Be ready.
Come on, bro. They breed great defensive linemen and sneaky athletic weapons.
First in, last guy out type guy,
Yep, and good running backs.
Receding hairlines, all that.
Yeah, it's certainly it's just because they have bad hair genetics and they're not pumping the needle. But
Exactly.
I mean, nasty win by Los Angeles here. Can't be mad at a road win, especially after you lost that tough one to Baltimore. It's a good reason, good day to get back into the win column. You're 8-4. They're a win away from crushing their 8.5. Their monstrous 8.5 over from before the season. So Harbaugh has his guys in a good spot. Danny, do you have any thoughts on Cousins or on this game at all before we move on to Steelers Bengals?
Yeah, they lost to Steelers 2.0. The Falcons lost to Steelers earlier this year, and they lost to Steelers 2.0 and the Chargers. They're the same team almost in my book. Very similarly coached, very similarly assembled, very similar. I just think they're very similar teams, and they lost similar games. So I think that the Falcons still should be the favorite for the division, but don't let the Bucks get healthy.
Above average wide receiver. I would say above average receiver Matt Collins just had a crazy touchdown catch. But
wait,
but huh?
Hell yeah, Josh Allen threw that.
Who else would have thrown it?
I don't know. I just had to make sure Josh Allen threw it.
Who even is his backup this year?
With the way this NFL season, I'm surprised it wasn't a wide receiver screen, then another screen on the other side for somebody else to get a touchdown. I've seen it twice.
Exactly.
But let's move on to the Steelers. Season high 44 points. Put up a mind-boggling 520 yards of offense. 414 of that come from Mr. Unlimited in easily his best game since leaving Seattle.
Dude, best game since leaving Seattle is crazy. This might be his best game of his career. It's arguably.
Yeah, it's certainly up there. It's certainly up there.
76.3% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. He threw a pick 6, but it's
that was honestly so early in the game. He bounced back in a tremendous way.
Yeah, I think when you bounce back that fast, it's really pivotal. He was dialed in. He was super efficient. He was really dialed, and it's I think it's proof that this team's legit.
No, absolutely.
The simplest I can say. I know I told you in a few weeks if the Steelers drop a few to the Bengals and the Browns, come back and let's reevaluate this team. But proving that you I know the Bengals defense isn't the greatest, but proving that you can duel it out with one of the league's best offenses speaks volumes.
Not only that, they jumped the gun on the league's best offense. Now, granted, they're the league's best offense because you have to throw a cajillion times because they're usually down by 20-something points, and then they make it look close at the end. But I mean, this is peak Steelers football on the offensive side of things. I mean, Najee Harris has 130 scrimmage yards. He gets involved in the pass game. Freiermuth has a great game. Pickens has a good game. Calvin Austin had a solid game. Jalen Warren had a good game. Patterson got some touches, and Van Jefferson had a goddamn. He blew by somebody for a 43-yard game that should have been a touchdown, but he decided to cut back in. Whatever.
Yeah, he's slow. I do want to know, like, what is going on with? I just really don't like George Pickens. He does this and gets a 15-yard penalty.
Finger guns.
Finger gun, like
Mm-hmm.
he
Yep.
he didn't pull. He just went like that. Like I
That's
feel
a
like so many
this is a finger gun. This is a point.
man.
This isn't a point, but this is a
What happened
gun.
to the game I used to love?
I don't know. This is why you need the balance, okay? Because college
Man.
football got real wicked over the weekend. Yeah. So, yeah, the
Oh my
flag
God!
planting, the
What's his name on South Carolina? Probably has the best gun celebration in the NFL.
yeah, bro. That's absolutely ridiculous, bro. He should not be allowed to play football. But Chris, rolling to you. I mean, at this point, the Bengals are just going to put up gaudy numbers and lose every shootout possible. But when you see the Steelers, even against the Bengals defense, when you see the Steelers put up an offensive performance of this caliber, and then you realize, like, okay, the Bengals put up 38 today, but I think that kind of undermines how dominant this Steelers defensive line was today. It's just what kind of expectations or what could you see out of a Steelers offense or a Steelers team that has Russell Wilson and the offense clicking to go along with TJ Watt and what they have going on the opposite side of the ball?
Mainly that although that was a practice squad defense that the Bengals rolls out there every week because they're bad. Geno Stone should have stayed. Other than that, I think they balled out. Everybody got involved, and I think that's most important for Steelers, where everybody gets involved. You got Pickens making catches, you got Freiermuth getting involved, you got Warren, and you got Harris. You got everybody rolling. I feel like even you just had everyone who matters on this offense play a big role or play a big enough role where everybody was eating. So where you can't zero in on one guy like you can on others. And I think that's what Russell Wilson brought that Fields didn't. Because when Fields was comfortable enough, he was really only going to one guy or only doing one thing or only staying on one side of the field. Russell Wilson's been spreading the ball all over all type of different ways. Even like I said, even after the mistake earlier in the game, he bounced back and almost damn near, I say, didn't make another one. So I think it was just a really good game. And I think this is one of those games where that the Steelers need every once in a while, where your defense is always elite, always. But sometimes they're going to give up some points to some good teams, and you're going to have to find a way to go put up enough points to win. And they did that today. So I think this was an all-around just a good day for the Steelers, in my opinion.
Did I think that the Steelers had a 44-point game in them? No.
I can't say I did. The only team I could have even seen you doing that to was the Panthers.
And let's be honest, like, I can't tell you the last time a Steelers scored 44 points in a football game. Like
it would have to be Big Ben era, no.
And it has to
I'm gonna be honest with
like,
you. You know what I truly believe the last time y'all put up 44 was, or 40 plus points. 2016 lost to the Jaguars in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll check right now.
Yeah. While you check on that though, I do just want to say, I gave Justin Fields a new comp. I said in the chat earlier, he's Peyton Pritchard. That kid could be sitting on the bench for 58 minutes of the football game. You say, yo, we need a quarterback power to win the game. He's got you. Peyton Pritchard, you could sit him on that bench for 3 years and say, yo, we need 15 points in 3 minutes. I got you, coach. Pritchard's been absolutely electric. Damn near won the Celtics the game today, but Tatum spoke the layup. Things happen, whatever. But
I pulled it up. The Steelers in 2018. That
was last year with AB, right?
So the loss to the Jags is technically in 2018, but they had 2 wins that year. AB's last year, that was the AB helmet catch against the Panthers when he had AB had
the call God catch.
Yards. Yeah,
call God that was catch. Ridiculous.
And then they had 41 against the Falcons.
Man, you don't know you're in the good days until you're out of them, you know.
Man, that was 6 years ago. Not putting up 40 points for 6 years, and
I don't think that's rare though. I think a lot of teams, because a lot of teams get to 38. Most of the time, if you score 38 points, you win the football, unless you're the Bengals. But if you score 38 points in a football game, you're probably dominating the other team. So you kind of take your foot off the gas for a little bit. You guys probably have a bunch of 35-point games or whatever it may be. Actually, after Big Ben retirement, I have no clue. But
You know my sneaky scary vision that I would have. Zach Taylor fired. Bengals hire Robert Saleh.
To fix up that deep, dude. If he could fix that defense, throw him in the Hall of Fame. But big win by Pittsburgh. They moved to 9-3. Which, if
Our losses are
I'm
awful. The losses are awful.
if I'm not mistaken, okay. Just gonna quick update on some things. Browns cannot hit their over, so I was wrong on that. Bengals can't hit their over. I don't remember. I don't know what I wrote down. I'm gonna say. I think I said over, but they didn't. Steelers over 8.5 wins. They did it. And I gotta, got it.
We did it.
Okay. Your favorite player's fat. But I got to give Danny his flowers, man. I thought the Browns would be way better than the Steelers this year, and that didn't seem to happen. However, in my defense, I thought Deshaun Watson would be off the face of the earth a lot sooner than this. We aren't doing our job as a society to letting him walk around. But
he said, get out.
Any other games from the 1 o'clock we want to talk about? I mean, the Commanders steamrolled the Titans in a bounce back win that looked really good. The Texans, another fraudulent-esque win against a division opponent, or Trevor Lawrence got absolutely speared. That sucked really bad. Because I'm gonna be honest, in the limited reps, I mean, he was 4 for 10, but it looked like he was getting a mojo outside of the interception. But tough to tell. You miss a couple weeks, you come back. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate, though, as we're getting pretty late into this episode. What would we rather start with? I didn't really catch a lot of Rams Saints. I'm not gonna lie.
Neither.
Yeah. Okay. So we can. I mean, if y'all want a box score recap, Kyron Williams had his first good game in 78 years. Stafford played okay. Puka had a good game, and then for New Orleans, Kamara had his first good game in a while, and the receivers are absolutely pitiful.
And Stafford only sees Puka Nacua. I don't think Cooper Kupp even goes across his face anymore. I think he only throws to Puka Nacua. I think,
and that's because Puka's top 8. And
I don't know. I'm just saying, if everybody's focused on Puka, including the defense, maybe you should try to throw it to somebody else. I don't know.
But when they get
Kupp on his parlay,
huh?
Sounds like a man who had Cooper Kupp on his parlay.
Oh, me, Cooper Kupp on my parlay? Oh, never. Not
I'm not putting the Los Angeles Rams on. I'm not putting U.S. currency on Matt Stafford and friends. Respect to them. Matt Stafford's a great quarterback, but
okay. So Atwell too, Liberty City legend, by the way.
Let's move to Bucks Panthers. Where I actually caught a good. I was going between the other 2 games on this one.
I love this game.
Panthers defense, man, ruin a Bryce 2-minute masterclass.
4 games in a row with Bryce Young having some of the best football of his NFL career so far.
Easily the best football of his NFL career. I would say these past 2 games would have been the best 2 games of his career. It's cold, but we run 2-minute drill. We're still hooping, throwing the run to Thielen. I thought he looked really good. Xavier Legette is in the running for worst hands in the NFL, though. That's tough. But Chuba Hubbard said we're Team OVO, and then he fumbled the game away. That's like pretty egregious. You're not ripping OVO that way. I banned him from OVO. He probably wasn't even born in October. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Young. It's just great to see. It's great to see. You're never wrong, just early. You're never wrong, just early, Mr. Stroud. We're coming. We are coming. We're on the way.
Know the crazy part? Bryce Young
on the way.
So much better. Bryce Young had to play so much better just to play as bad as Stroud has been playing this year, which is kind of crazy.
We're on the way. Last 4 games, Bryce has been better. Last 4 games, Bryce has been better. Never wrong, just early. We on the way. We on the way.
Help is on the way.
Come on now. You get it. But that's really all I had to say about that game, though. Did y'all have any comments on Bucks Panthers? Who'd you say is a Carolina Panther?
Ted McMillan.
Come on. Don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things.
Well, I tell y'all, I know there's a lot of rookie of the years, a lot of offensive rookie of the years. Bucky Irvin gets my vote. I
Hell
like
yeah.
Jalen Daniels. I like Jane Daniels. I like Drake, man. I like Caleb Williams. Bucky Irvin, dude, every time he touches the ball, he does something electric. Now he's fumbled a couple of times in big spots. But I love Bucky Irvin as a back. I think he's really, really good. I think him and White have been dope as a tandem. As a
Olympic level athlete for sure. He's awesome.
And out the backfield, he's really good too. Like just with catching the ball. I just like him, as a playmaker.
Yeah, I think they have 2 running back ones, to be completely honest.
Chase Brown played good today, but maybe the Bengals could use a Bucky Irvin or
Bucky not going nowhere for sure.
No, not him, but maybe Rashad White.
I have an interesting stat, the most interesting stat line from this game today. Kyle Trask, 5 passing yards, 8 passing yards after the catch.
Nice.
Hell yeah, man. Florida legend, but rightfully, I can't believe that is a team's backup quarterback in the NFL. But yeah, Bucky played great. Mike Evans, you know what he's going to do. Thielen, Unk still got it kind of day. Bryce Young was 2 yards short of 300. That sucks. But yeah. And then final game we're going to talk about. Next episode, we may or may not recap this Bill slaughter of the Niners because the Niners are so beat up. Maybe we'll talk about it. But to wrap things up here, Eagles-Ravens. Eagles get a 24-19 win over the Ravens. Take that 19 with a grain of salt. That was definitely Chris Paul coded. I'm just playing. I said to them in the chat. I was like, a game. When Lamar Jackson's in the game, it's not over until I see all the zeros on the clock. I sat in my job's parking lot watching the game on my laptop. I said, I'm not going away until I see Jalen take that last knee. Once he took the knee, I turned the laptop off.
You mean Kenny Pickett take the knee?
No, Hurts took the knee.
Hurts took the knee this time. But
actually, the only other quarterback to get a snap today was, or at least to show up in the box score on Real for whatever reason, was Tanner. But, Chris, I guess I'm gonna go to you. Of course, you would voice your frustrations. Where did the Ravens fall short? Because I mean, for the first and third quarters, it was dominant. These two teams did not belong on the same football field. Second and fourth quarter, you'd argue it was vice versa.
Crazy part is I have zero frustrations, like literally zero, and it's for good reasons. I'm an actual fan of Ravens. I'm not just a person who just started liking them in 2021 when they found out who Lamar Jackson was. So in this, my real take is that the things that are the problems are things we knew was the problem. It's not new problems. New problems would scare me more. That would make me more scared. Like if Justin Tucker went 6 for 6 and another new problem happened. All our receivers' hands fell off. Okay, cool. Now we have another problem.
That's not new. It's just coming back.
You know what I'm saying? Aguilar running up there trying to catch with his feet instead of his hands. I've seen that before. So that doesn't make me mad. The thing that I'm also looking at the positives. The defense played another good game. They played another good game. Now, the Eagles put 23 points, but the Eagles are a damn good offense. 24 points, maybe. I can't remember. 22. I don't remember. Yeah, so holding them to 24, I think in the game we had, I think the Eagles defense was the brightest spot, and that's something I'm looking forward to. The offense, when the offense doesn't play well, it's the offense's fault a lot of times, and I think today was another day too. Like I think they didn't get the ball Derrick Henry enough last time, so now they force-fed him in the wrong spots to where you can see it. Even if you never watched football before, you can just tell what was coming, and the Eagles were prepared for it every time. So I think that's another thing, and the same thing I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks on here. Lamar Jackson has let everyone else trick him, and it's working into the NFL's hands. He won't do what he did on that last play where it didn't really matter, where he ran for 45 yards. He won't do that often enough anymore because he has to prove to everyone he can be a pocket passer or prove that when he gets out of the pocket, he can still pass the ball. Like, yes, brother, we understand and we've seen it. Please do that more because that's what the defenses can account for. So, in my opinion, I'm not upset. I'm perfectly fine. And like I said, it's not like we lost to the Panthers or the Saints. This is the Eagles, another really good team. Now, it is an NFC loss for Lamar, which is ill. But other than that, I mean, I'm not upset. And Justin Tucker, yes, he missed a couple kicks. But at the end of the day, if you want to blame Justin Tucker for this, I'll blame the offense for not getting touchdowns. And they had opportunities to do so.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's entirely fair. Tucker, though, he made that 47-yarder and did like gave the look as like y'all thought I was washed or something just to like miss every other kick the rest of the way.
Do you know what I thought that look was? I don't think that was a look. I think that was a oh shit, I barely made that. That's what it looked like to me. Because it looked like he was like
Because everybody was like, yo, he's like, well, why's he got that look on his face, dude? Like, you still suck.
I thought he's befuddled, bro. I thought he was befuddled. And one thing I will say too, bro, if it's one thing, me personally, I'm on this side. I'd rather ride with Justin Tucker to the end of the season and see if he can do what he's done for the last 10 years in the playoffs or when it's time to, than cut him now or do something weird now and try to bring in somebody else off the couch. I'd rather not. I've watched Justin Tucker make big kicks for a long time now. I watched him miss a lot this year. I have. But if for me as a fan, I think you stick with him at least to the end of the year. And then if he just can't get it figured out, then you move on at the end of the season. I don't think it's time to go pick up somebody off the couch and think they can just figure it out. I just don't.
Definitely not. I mean, if all people you give that leniency to, you give
exactly.
the only kicker on a serious payroll in the entire NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a reason why you paid him that.
Yeah.
Even if he's missing.
I did want to note. I think that this is the first time that the Ravens didn't beat themselves. A lot of times the Ravens turn the ball over, they throw interceptions, they're not executing the red zone. I mean, they miss field goals, but like outside of the field goals, they didn't beat themselves. Like
they just didn't lose the fumbles. Those fumbles hurt.
I would even say like. And even so, like it's just crazy that because the Eagles, they were. When I say they were more penalized, that's not me saying like, oh, the Ravens had the ref on our side. No, the Eagles were extremely undisciplined in this game for the most part. Bad flags. Jalen's running a quarterback sweep and then throws it out of bounds. I'm like, dude, you have to know like your linemen are probably upfield at this point. Like, yeah, it's the same 5-yard loss that you had, but you'd rather not have it in penalties. But I guess it saved it down. So I don't know. Maybe it was smart, but yeah. Danny, any other thoughts on the game? On the game though?
I think Saquon Barkley is the current MVP of the season.
I think he actually might be the best football player of all time.
It's an argument.
Hot take.
Best is like I don't know if there's another athlete in the planet that could hurdle someone backwards.
Lamar could if he stopped acting so nonchalant.
Oh, Lamar got tackled by Jalen Carter.
He runs fast twice a game. That's it. He only runs fast.
Chris was like, bro. Chris was heated. He was like, bro, you think shit's sweet, and you like, bro, just run, bro.
Bro, he runs so fast twice the game. Any other time he's just skipping and jogging. It's so weird to me.
Chris, I saw a tweet of yours that I didn't like. Offsides push.
Yes, offsides push. Now,
yes, because the defense lines up offsides every single time.
Yes, that's why. So that's why I call the offsides push. It's not even necessarily on the Eagles. It's just offsides on everybody. So just run the play again until everybody's onside.
Truthfully, I think they should actually start the play by everybody locking up at top like a rugby scrum, and then run it.
You know what I think?
Like the center has one arm locked and snapping the ball, and then he needs to reach around. Or you could just have Jalen just hold the ball while the center's locked up, and then
or this. Since they're guaranteed to get 1 yard, if ever it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, just go to the next down. Just go to the next one because they're gonna get it. Just go to the
intentional walk.
Down. Yeah, just walk. To the
intentional
next
first down.
Yeah, just walk.
Intentional walk. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
No, bro. They almost fumbled in the goal line. Hurts picked it up off the ground.
Yeah, it got registered as a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
How did Tony Romo see that? First of all, I didn't see it on screen until
I did. Dude, Hurts was like on the ground, like bent over, and like.
So does that count as a rushing touchdown?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It did. I know it did.
But let's talk about Saquon Barkley. Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't want to. Well, I'm going to give some Hurts propaganda real quick. Second quarter, he goes 8 for 9, 99 yards. And the only things he did was throw at the sideline to Goddard and deep over the middle to A.J. Brown. And, of course, I want Devontae Smith playing football. He makes, I can't even tell you the type of element he adds to his team. But sometimes when he's out, it kind of just forces Jalen to force feed A.J. Brown, which is very necessary. A.J. Brown is way too good not to be getting the ball targeted at least 10 times a game. He is that level of guy. He's that kind of offense. Like, he's probably the best offensive player in the league that isn't the engine of his team. Because it is Saquon Barkley. Like, AJ's just that good. So I want to shout out that. Jalen Hurts had a great day throwing over the middle. You know, the yards weren't 118 passing yards. He had 29 on the ground. He haven't said the rushing touchdown.
I do want to say
Lamar definitely mogged him today. Not gonna lie.
The Eagles are like the best versions of the Dolphins. If that makes sense.
I think I could see where you're coming from. I think the Dolphins are certainly a lot more creative. I think Tua throws with a little bit more anticipation than Hurts does, but Hurts obviously is the stronger arm.
And he's better on the ground and creator. So.
Absolutely. So yeah. I guess I can see where you're coming from on that one. But Saquon Barkley, man, I wouldn't say bottled up for the whole game. I mean, we averaging like 3.5, 4 yards a carry. You know, we're not doing great.
He was averaging
fourth quarter hits. Yep, fourth quarter hits, 12 carries, 63 yards, and the touchdown to essentially put the game away. 12 fantasy points in just the fourth quarter. He currently sits at 1499 on rushing yards. If he wants to catch Eric Dickerson, he needs 607 yards. They have 5 games left, if I'm not mistaken. He would need to average 121 rushing yards per game, which is roughly what he's been doing so far anyway. If he just simply wants to hit 2,501 the rest of the way, you just have to average 100 yards a game, which has been well within his diet this entire season. Now, here's an even trickier one. If he wants to break Eric Dickerson's record, Eric Dickerson style, in 16 games, he's going to have to rush for 150 yards the rest of the way. It ain't over for that, but he's going to need a lot of touches.
I mean, he needs like a 200-yard game, and then like,
yeah, he's going to need like a masterclass.
They do play the Panthers next week.
We play the Panthers. We got the Cowboys one more time. We got the Commanders one more time. We have New York one more time. And then the one game where he could probably afford a stinker is against Pittsburgh.
Dude, unfortunately, Saquon Barkley's rushing for 250 against the Steelers.
About 250. If he rushes for 250, he is 100% breaking Eric Dickerson's record.
Dude, maybe not 250.
Because he's going to have 250 against Carolina, so he's going to close the 2,000-yard gap already.
Saquon Barkley is like the alpha version of Chase Brown.
Okay, like Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah, like he's evolved Chase Brown.
Yeah,
like he can catch out of the backfield. He can make men miss. He's speedy. He gets cuts.
He's really aggressive.
Chase Brown diced him up today.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think the Steelers tend to struggle with these type of running backs. The Steelers tend to dial in on like the Derrick Henry type of running backs. The bigger, stronger, faster. You just kind of like let them sit and try to come through the A gap, and we'll have our linebacker come hit you. The Steelers are good at that. What they're bad at is stopping the outside zone a lot of times because
the guys where you got to track the hip.
TJ Watt, Highsmith, all those type of guys, they overcommit for the pass sometimes, which is fair.
And Saquon being one of the most patient backs in the league, one of the quickest in and out of run gaps. Like he'll get upfield if Queen runs like a bat out of hell if he over pursues. Or I don't know. You're probably looking at a play where like Saquon's 1-on-1 with Dante Jackson, and it's going to be bad. I'm really, but like, while
it's going to be a great game. That's going to be a hell of a game in 2 weeks. We're looking forward to that. I think this NFL slate, December football makes January contenders, and I'm really looking forward to see how things get shaped out over the next month because. Not only do the Eagles have this, the Eagles have a very favorable schedule. Not even just the opponents. Chris, I don't know if you know, the Eagles' furthest distance traveled is the Commanders.
They're down the street from the Ravens, which we just did.
They have 4 home games and a game away at the Commanders. That's what they have left.
That's what, an hour and a half, 2 hour drive?
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, on the bus.
I think they rolled it. Yeah, I think they rolled the bus today to the game.
Yeah,
and the roads
look, and honestly, that gives such a college vibe to it, in my opinion.
Dude,
I
I
don't know
mean,
why.
Yeah, cool.
imagine an NFL team taking a train like the Knicks do to the Sixers.
That's pretty cool though. That's good vibes.
It's really cool, but
No, it's just like I would really like to see Saquon Barkley get this record. Not to force fear, of course. Eagles wins come first in my eyes, but like, I mean, if he breaks a record that's been sitting for damn near 50 years, that Adrian Peterson couldn't get mine. Okay, mind you, AP would have destroyed it if he got an extra game. I don't want to like discredit that, but it's still cool to see, you know. My hope is that Saquon can crack 2,000 at 16 games, and then 17th game, depending where we're at, it'd be really cool to I think 2K can happen. I'd really like to see him break the record because that would probably lock him for the MVP in a year where the Heisman's going to either be a running back or a two-way wide receiver corner specimen like you've ever seen, and a running back winning the MVP in the NFL. I think we're curing our awards of most outstanding and most valuable player in respective college and pro football. Because I think last year, I think what truly broke the was the respective races last year. Lamar Jackson, a deserved MVP, but I think a lot of the year people were talking about, like Tyreek Hill or CMC could like win this thing. There was a small stretch of people like, could AJ Brown win this thing? Where he had like 5 straight games of 125. And then in college football, Jaden Daniels, again, great player, absolutely, deserved his award, but it was like 4 quarterbacks. And the other guys were just like the best player on a playoff team or something like that. And then Jaden Daniels was just like truly electric. Our world is healing, but college football got to stop bullshitting. I don't even know why Dylan Gabriel is going to be in New York. The 4 players that should be in New York is JT, Trav, Cam Ward,
Ashton Genty.
and I would either say Genty or don't kill me, Tyler Ward. That dude is nice. Or the tight end from Bowling Green. He's nice too.
Oh, I know he's like a 90-something on NCAA 225 too. Nobody uses Bowling Green, but he's like a 90-something too.
But I did want to note the MVP race comes down to Josh Allen, Saquon. Josh Allen at plus 115, Saquon Barkley at plus 220. Lamar Jackson has dropped to a plus 600 after today. And I think that's mainly because the Ravens at 8-5 would have to run the table, and they would be at best
12-5.
12,
Which isn't bad. That's bad. That
it's not bad, but they have to run the table with let's see the Ravens' remaining schedule. They have Giants, Steelers, Texans, Browns, and that's it. Giants, Steelers, Texans, Browns.
Yeah.
So
it's possible.
They have to go 4-0 to go 12-5, and look, I think 11-6 is definitely in the realm of possibility for the Ravens. I think they should be 11-6. Like realistically, they probably either drop one either to the Steelers or to like the Texans. That's what they should be going. And the problem is, if they lose to the Steelers, they lose the division because the Steelers would be at worst 10-6. And
my thing is, you can lose to the Steelers because that's just your kryptonite, but you have to be able to beat everyone else, which I can bank on that. They lose to the Texans, I might be actually out on the Ravens.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I might be actually out on them as contenders.
I think if the Ravens go 2,
but I think they'll win. I'm saying if Joe Burrow's favorite word, if.
I agree. I think the issue mainly comes down to them. Look, they're going to make the playoffs either way. Is the reality because they're going to have 10 wins. They're going to go win at least 2 games. If they go 2-2 and are 10-7 and are the 6th seed, they're going to wind up playing the Steelers or the Bills in the first round. That's a winnable and favorable matchup for the Ravens. Yeah. And what better way, Chris, for the Ravens to Lamar finally get over his playoff drought, his Steelers drought, is to beat them in the playoffs. It would hurt me, but I think I'm just giving you a hypothetical.
I think this bye week is going to do us really well. in a lot of areas, and I think that's going to be the telltale of how the rest of the season goes, how this team pops out the bye. Because a lot of things, you can't fix everything in the bye, but you can put some work in, and I think this team needs to do that on a couple different levels. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to after the bye. See how they come out. Do they come out refreshed, ready to play, or do they come out kind of sluggish? I think that'll tell how the rest of the season can go. For real, for real.
Yeah, I did want to highlight my favorite play of the game. Cooper DeJean, with about as textbook as a tackle as it gets on the league's most physical back. Damn, that looked good. That looked really
That was
good.
my second favorite play.
What was your favorite player of the game?
The rollout pass to Zay Flowers, only because
That was good.
Lamar spent out of a stiff arm the other way, like it's be like backwards spent, and then
Yeah,
that was cool.
The touchdown to Andrews was like ridiculous. Like
That throw was fire. That throw was fire.
just throw it up top shelf. Only Andrews can get up there.
And one more guy. You seen Zay Likely with the Chris Paul touchdown.
Zay likely scores a huge touchdown. But that's basically everything from us today. Coming on Thursday's episode, though, we will be doing an NFC tier ranking. So we'll, just to remind you guys again, the tiers are favorites, contenders, dark horse / could ruin a season, and Travis Hunter. Those are your 4 tiers. But that's everything from us today. Again, a reminder, we were watching this on YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment on your favorite game this week. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a like, 5-star review, comment if you can, and leave or download the episode if you really did enjoy it. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on Thursday.